So where did you grow up? Like where are you from? Where did you grow up?
Yeah, so I grew up in like South Central around like Southgate. It's like a little city called Southgate. It's about like 15 minutes away from like Compton and like all these crazy like areas.
Oh dang.
Um, but yeah, I grew up there and 'cause like, my mom was from there, my dad was from there. So yeah, that's where I grew up. Nothing too crazy. I think by the time I got to middle school, I was still living there, but I was going to school in Downey, which is like a little bit of a nicer
Yeah.
city. So I didn't get to like experience like the craziness of what like South Central was, which I'm like really fortunate. I'm
Yeah,
grateful
that's
for.
yeah, that's good.
But yeah, and then by the time I got to high school, that's when I moved to La Mirada, and that's where I went to high school. That was like another upgrade from Downey. So I think I just
Right.
like kept
Yeah.
taking. Yeah,
That's good.
yeah, yeah.
Nice, man.
So
That's super cool. Um so that I mean that's good that you didn't have to like deal with any of the stuff that comes
yeah,
with
man.
those
I like
areas.
yeah. I mean, as a kid, like I saw some, not saw some crazy stuff, but like I knew that that place wasn't like the best.
Right.
And I mean, I'm really grateful and lucky. Like I think my parents like like noticed that or like knew that obviously, and they just wanted to like give me something a little bit nicer than they had. So
Right.
yeah.
That's good. Yeah, cuz it's
Hmm.
it's easy to get like sucked into that kind of environment. I almost kind of did in Fresno a little bit, like just because it wasn't a bad town. There are definitely parts of it that are bad, like really bad, but
Yeah.
it's easy to like get sucked into your environment and just kind of stay there or go with certain
Right.
people that
Yeah,
maybe it
dude.
isn't a good idea to be with,
That's
you know?
it's yeah. It's funny that you bring up like because that's like NorCal, right?
Yeah.
Um, Man, I remember like the first time I was up there, I was like, this is like not. I don't want to say it wasn't California, but I was like, this doesn't seem like I'm in like the right place. It just seemed like a little bit like, especially Concord. That dude,
Yeah.
you know how
Yeah.
it is up there. It's
Yeah.
a little, it's rough. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You're
yeah.
like you're in
So
a good part and then you take a turn and it's like, wait, where am I at now?
yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Went to RCC, right?
Yeah, yeah. I went to RCC for a bit, and then yeah, like I went for about maybe like a couple semesters, but I feel like personally for me it was difficult to juggle school and my commitment towards like marching.
Mm-hmm.
And it was funny because like my parents like we always fought about it and I was like I want to march and they're like you got to
Yeah.
go to school and it was like this whole thing. I mean, I
Classic.
feel like a lot of
Yeah.
classic. I feel like so many people go through that,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I think everyone should go like the path that they like, ultimately want to go down.
Yeah.
But it wasn't until it was RCC 18 and Nick, it was like he kind of explained that he had like the same problem and he just decided like, after I age out like I'm gonna go to school. And then that's what he did. He didn't march or he didn't sorry, he didn't go to school, he marched. And then, after he was done, he went back into school and he like
Right.
found like he's obviously like graduated and stuff
Yeah.
now. And I'm just like, wow, like I don't know, just like really, I
Yeah.
didn't think that that would be an option.
Yeah. That's
So I
what
was
I'm
like, kind of
doing.
like, right,
Yeah,
right,
because I mean, I had a lot of family stuff that kind of prevented me. I went to college a couple times, but it wasn't working. It felt like I was trying to fit like a square inside of a circle. It was just not working.
yeah,
It just wasn't the right
yeah,
time. So I'm going now, and kind of again around like coronavirus stuff. Like now that everything's shut down, I took it as like a really good point to like pivot and start doing the
right,
college thing, which is also why I'm not working as much right now because I do want to put a lot of effort into that. So yeah,
right,
dude, I
yeah,
think it's more normal than people expect, to like
right.
just chill on it a little bit. You don't have to do it right away.
That's the thing. Like I always tell myself like you're just not good at time management. And it's like I I shouldn't like beat myself up for like not being able to juggle both of them, because in my opinion it's like way better to like take one thing at a time and really make that really good and then move on to the next thing. When it comes, like, I feel like whenever you try, or at least in my experiences, whenever you try doing too many things at once, like none of them get the quality that they like need. So I think, if anyone's watching and like you're in the same situation, like, just explore other options that you may have available to you. I feel like another plus that it gives is there's a lot of growth that happens out of high school to age out. I feel like, I'm sure you could say the same thing, like that time right out of high school to like when you age out, it's like such a pivotal moment, or not a moment, but like years in your life.
Yeah.
And I feel like right now I'm in a way stronger position to like know exactly what I want to do,
Yeah, that's great.
or have the headspace to think about that stuff.
Yeah. No, I totally agree. I think if it was not for marching or doing drum corps, I probably would not have moved out of Fresno. So I'd still be in Fresno, where the options for work are, I mean, it's an agricultural community mostly.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more, I don't want to say modernized, because it's living in the 1800s, but
Yeah.
it's definitely like farming town, like all the high schools out there have like ag, and they have little
Mm.
farms attached to the high school and stuff like
Oh,
that. But um, the opportunities just aren't nearly as open as they are out here. So I mean, I have no idea what I would be doing. So if I would have
right.
chosen to
Yeah.
do something other than drum corps at the time, I wouldn't be where I am right now.
Well, I'm like, I wonder how that happens. Like, what? I don't know. That's so interesting. I feel like because it wasn't. It's like I feel like the answer's not so obvious.
Yeah,
Uh, so I don't know. That's crazy.
yeah. How was college for you? Like doing that
Hmm.
at the time. Like what was, I'd say, the biggest challenge you had besides, I mean, you mentioned time management.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I mean, I would say probably the biggest challenge I had was that I was just not. I wasn't putting. I don't know. I wasn't putting it as a high priority because I
Okay.
just like I want to drum all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's another thing. Yes, it's time management, but like when you really don't want to do this one thing, you're not gonna give it the time it needs. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
So that's another thing I really struggled with. Like I just wasn't a good student because I was just way more devoted to something else.
Right.
And like that's the thing too. Like um, I've noticed about myself. Like I will like I've read a lot of books. I not like a lot of books, but like I've surprised myself. I was like, wow, I'll read these books, but like I don't do schoolwork, so it's like I don't understand like what that is. It's like
Yeah.
it's not that I'm like a bad student because like I'll like put my head into books and like write notes about them, but I won't do that for like school stuff.
Yeah.
So
I'm
I
the
think
same way. Because
it's so interesting,
I don't
right?
want to have to. I don't want to have to read this book. I want to read this book. No, I'm
Right?
exactly the same
Yeah,
way.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
I
yeah.
totally get
It's
it.
yeah. So yeah, I would say that's probably the challenge. When I don't know, like don't I wouldn't want to call myself a bad student. I just don't think that thing is I was studying were the things I wanted to study, so
Right.
I just didn't put time
Yeah, well, I
into
mean,
it.
like you said too, it just wasn't the right time, maybe.
And that.
When did you first start getting into music?
I guess music in general. I know my mom signed me up for a couple of guitar classes.
Oh, that's cool.
Um, when I was like in elementary, I never like
You didn't buy into
cared
it.
too much about them.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I never cared too much about them. And then I didn't even I know like fifth grade there was like this music class and I didn't take that. And then in middle school, that's when I got into like band. That was like my
Mhm.
first, introduction to like concert percussion.
Did you choose to do that, or did your parents kind of like sign you up?
I think my dad was he had actually marched in the Rose Parade and like he was a saxophone player and he was like in high school marching band. So
Oh,
like
dude, that's awesome.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So he told me he's like, okay, you're gonna sign for band. I was like, okay. And then like I was in it. I was in it and the funny thing is, man, this is so I feel like so lucky. Um and so like fortunate that I like cause what happened was there was like a hat and everyone was getting passed around the class and then reached in there and then or she picked out a name. It was the band the band director. She pulled out a name and she's whatever name it was they would choose what instrument they played. So
That's an interesting way to do
they
it.
right, and spots started getting deleted or like started diminishing because
Right.
okay, all the spots for this has been taken. It's like, oh crap, like, you know? And I wanted to do drums and I was like, okay. And a lot of kids I already got called out for drums and I was like and I
Yeah,
like
that's like
counted, I was like, I'm pretty
the
sure.
hot pick. Yeah.
Yeah. That is a hot pick. So all these spots were getting filled up, and I had counted. I was like, okay, I think there's like no more spots available, but I'm not sure. I was like, there. I think I was one away, and then my name got called up, and like I wasn't at the time, like I was in sixth grade. I wasn't like I wasn't one of those kids that was like ask questions. I would just like take what was given to me, you know.
Right.
But in that moment, I was like, I don't know what came over me, but I had to ask. I was like, "Is there any more percussion spots?" And she's like, "Yeah, there's one more." I was like, "Wow!" And like
Ooh.
that's yeah, I know. I barely. I mean, I'm sure I would have done something else, and like, I don't know. Maybe I would have like gone back to drums, or maybe I wouldn't have done it at all. But I think that was
Go to flute.
extremely, yeah, definitely one of those moments
Yeah.
that.
Dude, that was your first contract.
Yeah, that was
That's
technically
like
my
your
first
first contract. That's hella funny. Would you put
Yeah.
did your middle school have like a parade band program or anything like that?
No, no. The first introduction to like marching was high school. And the crazy thing too was I did not like drums either. Like
Oh wow.
I didn't yeah, I didn't like it either. Like I just didn't I don't know, I just didn't like it. I just I don't know. That's but when I got to high school, I told my dad again, like, I don't want to sign up for band. And he's like, Sean, you're gonna do 1 year marching band. And I was like, no. And he like specifically said marching band. I was like, why would I do that? He's like, trust me, just do it once, like
Yeah.
1 year. And I was like, all right. And then um like I got signed up for that. Another fortunate thing that happened to me, like I'm so grateful for that, you know.
Yeah.
But then like I feel like it was just like so many times where like the world is like, do this, like you're gonna want to do this,
Yeah.
and I was like, no,
It's
no,
like
no,
forcing you in a
because
direction.
yeah,
Yeah.
because another thing that happened was I missed the first day of like band camp, and I was like really like I was playing Call of Duty, and like I was with the homies like just playing, and then one of my friends I was in the marching band, he like got on and I was like, yo, what's good, like we're like on headsets talking whatever.
Yeah.
He's like, dude, you missed the first day of marching band or like band camp. And
Oh my god.
I was like, really? And he's like, yeah, they're like, we're having band camp right now. I was like, oh crap. So I went in the next day, and then there was this thing for drumline, and I was like really nervous. Like I didn't want to go to drumline.
Right.
So I did front ensemble. I did the pit like my freshman year.
Oh really?
And yeah. So I just like I don't know, I was nervous. I was like, this is weird. Because like I feel like concert band middle school is way different than marching band.
Yeah.
Like you're with so
Absolutely.
many more
Yeah.
people, and like, there's actual like I don't know, there's just so much more that goes
But
into
yeah,
it.
plus the older people, like the cap isn't seventh and eighth graders now. It's like
Yes.
freshmen and
Yes.
seniors. So
Yes.
the cool kids in the group.
Yeah,
Kids
yeah.
that can
And
drive and do all the shenanigans.
yeah, and I definitely noticed that too. I was like, there are like older kids here. Like
Yeah.
it's weird, you know? So
Yeah,
yeah.
I remember my freshman year when I did marching band. Like I hung out with I feel like the drummers are always kind of just like honorary, I don't want to say cool kids, but like almost
I was
like the
gonna say
seniors.
they're definitely like the cool people, you
Yeah,
know?
the
Like
ones that people
100%.
always just want to hang out with. So even if you're a freshman, people are still gonna want to hang out with you. So it's like, all right, well, you're in the
Yeah.
drum line, it's fine. But we used to, again, it was Fresno, so I mean, it was a little bit of a smaller town, and we had a lot of like really cool activities that we would do that were based around like the community. Like one of them was, well, I forgot what we called it. It was like cops and robbers or something kind of like that. But the seniors that had cars would be one group, and then everybody else in the band that came. Sorry, we would meet at the high school, at the band room of the high school, and our goal was to make it from one high school to the next high school in the same city in Clovis,
Uh-huh.
without getting caught by the people that have cars. So each person that had a car had like one other person, and when they would find somebody, they would just have to tag them. If they tagged them, they were now on the Cars team, right? So it was always at like 11 o'clock at night. So super dark. And the people that were runners had like a 10-minute head start. And you couldn't use a skateboard. You couldn't use anything like that. You just had to go on foot. So you would have to run all the way to these high schools that are like miles away without getting caught.
Jeez.
And dude, it was a huge group activity. It was so fun.
Yeah.
But we definitely like, we would like cut through people's yards because like, oh
dang,
crap, he's coming. Oh no. So like we would run
like,
hop fences. But it was so cool. Awesome. It was just it was like the seniors being kind of a bad influence. But it was a really, really cool like group activity that we all did. So
that sounds like
stuff like that.
That sounds like a very like something that bonds like people together, you know?
Yeah, it definitely was. It's especially like teaching now. I don't see tons of stuff like that. Like the staff has to almost come up with ideas sometimes.
Yeah,
kids. You know, because we didn't really have phones. We had like the little pay-as-you-go phones, you know, and they didn't have apps or games on them. Facebook wasn't a thing. MySpace was coming out, but I
didn't think about that.
Yeah, it was definitely weird, like seeing now a bunch of students that like don't really take an interest in hanging out with each other. I mean, they do, but it's different.
It's like way more secluded now.
Yeah, that's what it feels like to me. But I mean, I'm not gonna judge. Like they're doing the same thing, just in a different way. Somebody wants to know top 5 artists you currently listen to.
Ooh,
that's a good one.
Okay. Well, okay. I love Jack Harlow. Dude, I don't know if you've ever listened to Jack Harlow.
A little bit.
So good.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jack Harlow is really good. Mac Miller, super good. I'm currently listening to. I've been getting back into Kendrick Lamar.
Ooh.
He's really good. I mean, yeah, Kendrick's freaking beast. Wait, I'm gonna check my Spotify real quick.
Yeah, it's hard to remember. Like I'm trying to think of 5 right now.
I know, right? Oh, dude, Frank Ocean, bro, so
yeah,
good.
Always good.
Oh, and Brockhampton. I don't know. Have you ever heard about them?
Brockhampton? No.
Yeah, dude, listen to them. They're really good.
Okay.
Very, very good.
Let me put it into my Spotify.
Brockhampton is really good. And Jabali.
Dude,
that's what I have right now.
Jabali is he's really good. Like
yeah.
I was I don't want to sound rude, but I was super surprised. Because I remember when I saw it, I was like, all right, I bet it's cool. But then I heard it, I was like, dude, this is sick. This is hella good.
Yeah.
Like I was
he's
surprised by that.
So good.
Yeah, I listened to that quite a bit actually.
Yeah.
Ashley Fanning says hi, Sean. Not a question, but hi, Sean.
Hi.
Let's see. For me, I've been listening to the Hamilton soundtrack a lot. Have you seen Hamilton?
Really? Okay. Dude. Okay. Let's talk about this for a second, because I'm not like a huge like musical person.
I'm not either.
But you like it though.
Yeah, it took me a minute. Like.
Really?
Yeah, because like you said, I'm not a huge musical fan. But let's see, like La La Land, I love that movie. The Greatest Showman, I love that movie.
Dude, The Greatest Showman, that like first song, I love that song. I don't mess with musicals, but like I watched that movie and I heard that song. It's like, yo, there's something about that just like speaks to me. You know? Like, so good.
I think. And then Hamilton, I think what it is, like, it doesn't feel like a musical to me, like a stock musical, like Les Mis. That one was good. I appreciated it, but it's not something that I would like actively listen to a lot. Like Hamilton, I listened to that one. I think because it's more not mainstream, but it's more like modern. It's more easy to listen to, you know? It's not like I can't stand the whole like saying your lines in like a melody. Like I just don't like that. It's awkward to me. You know what I mean? Weird. Where they're like talking, but it's in a melody. I don't know.
That's weird.
But it didn't feel like that whenever I watched those. So yeah, anyway, Hamilton, I've been watching that and listening to it a lot. Plus just watching that, I noticed a lot of similarities between like drum corps and WGI design
That's
with what they did with the
so
choreography in that show, because it's very
wow.
different.
Mm,
Like watching them, like how Blue Devils a lot, they do like inferring body movement almost, you know what I mean? Like they'll make shapes that infer an idea, and they
mm.
do that a lot in Hamilton. Like there's no real props, they just have like chairs and tables, and they have to act out what they're doing with their bodies in a different way. That might
Yeah.
be more common in all musical theater. I don't know, I don't watch a ton of musical theater,
Yeah, I'm
but
sure it is. That's sick though. That's so sick.
yeah, that's one I've been listening to a lot. What instructors played a big role in your transition from open class to world class groups?
Open class to world class. Um well, I guess from open class to world class, I took lessons with because I marched salon indoor percussion, and then the snare tech there, his name was Joe Hernandez. He marched troopers, and dude, man, that guy is so smart, and
Yeah.
he's a music major at Fullerton, and he's like really legit, and we took lessons a lot, and he helped me just like I think he started helping me think more about what I was doing, like be more conscious about what I was doing. Um, I'm trying to think about okay, and then when I did RCC fall, and then I think that really helped. Like I think he helped me get into RCC fall, and then from RCC fall, like Regla and Jared Andrews and Adam Wilson,
Yeah.
like definitely helped a lot.
Did Adam Wilson taught you too?
Hmm.
Oh, that's right. He taught at RCC Fall for a little bit. That's
Yeah,
right. Is he
yeah.
still there?
I'm
Or
not sure.
how's that working right now?
I don't know. I think they're doing. I think they might be doing half and half in like
Hmm.
very soon, but I'm not too sure.
Right. That's cool. Reg was
Yeah.
still at Fall, right?
Regla's still there. Yeah,
That's cool.
yeah.
That's super cool. I wish that was definitely one guy like I wish I would have been taught by. Like he
Regla
was
is
so smart.
yeah. Regla's awesome, man. It was funny. Like he told me he pulled me to the side after RCC fall auditions after like he had set the line. And that was I remember that was probably one of the biggest achievements like for me because well the whole reason I got into like drum corps like that sparked the whole interest was because this guy at my high school you marched with him, Greg Vasquez.
Oh yeah.
um he was a senior when I was a freshman, and
Oh, that's awesome.
he like yeah he like he was the guy, and he just like showed me like yeah this all this stuff. I was like holy crap, this is awesome. And just like getting to drum with him, and then when he showed me like RCC, and I like heard about Blue Devils through just like the band, but he showed me RCC and I was like wow, this is crazy. And then he decided to do the fall, and then he made Blue Devils and RCC, and I was like this is crazy.
You saw
Like it's just
the
crazy that I know
change.
someone. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. And I was like, I just like, I think him doing it like showed me like, wow, that is actually I could do that because like he did it and like we went to that same high school, and so making RCC fall was probably one of the biggest achievements because I feel like wow, I actually have my foot in the door. I'm actually gonna be taught by these people,
Yeah.
and then it's crazy because Regwa pulled me aside and then he asked me like if I was auditioning for the winner. I was like this is so weird. Like, I don't know. I just thought it was crazy. Like, he just asked me like straight up. He's like, "Are you auditioning? Because I
Yeah.
think you could like I think you tried really hard. You could make it." And then like I ended up getting cut, but like it was just so surreal that like
But he
he
approached you.
like yeah like he pulled me aside and like told me all
That's
that stuff.
awesome. That's
Yeah, yeah,
definitely a good sign. I still would have taken that as like, dude, really? Like that's all
yeah.
right.
I
Hell
was
yeah,
shocking.
dude.
Shocking.
Yeah, that's awesome. So what in general like sparked your interest in drum corps and WGI, or like what came first? Because I mean, I'm sure. Did your high school have a winter program?
No, my high school did not have a winter
Oh
program.
wow.
Yeah, yeah, that was the whole thing. But I think drum corps came first because the dude, another thing, like you marched 12,
Mhm.
right? And that was the first drum corps show I ever listened to.
Oh wow.
Um, yeah, and I remember just being like, wow, this
Yeah.
is and like how you said watch it before you like or
Yeah.
listen to it before you watch it. I did the same thing. I listened to it and then I watched it. But I listened to it so many times, and as a freshman, I had no idea what I was doing.
Yeah.
And I remember like just playing it on repeat and like trying to drum like I just didn't know that there was
You
like a whole
figured it
like
out like in your head.
but I was like, there's sheet music, like there's
Yeah.
all this stuff. I just didn't have any idea of that. I was just like
Right.
listening to like drumming, like what I thought I heard, and like the fast roll segment. I was just like playing, like this like dumb little kid.
Yeah. But
But
that's
yeah,
awesome
that
because
was
that built a skill, like being able to do that. I did the same thing when I was younger, even
yeah.
though we
But
had
I
like
mean,
snare signs and stuff,
really,
Yeah,
really,
like
yeah.
just listening
I
to
didn't
it.
have I didn't have an idea of like what I was doing or anything like that. But that was like the first thing, just like being so geeking out on Blue Devils. That
Right.
was It came first.
So what about Blue Devils was it that made you like drew you into them? Because there's so many options. Like,
Yeah.
was it? Because for some people it's just like, oh well, they're really good. But for other people it's like, dude, it's got to be this drum corps. Like, I don't care if we win, it's got to be this one.
It's funny. I think it went from like Blue Devils, and then I think I wanted to like do Vanguard for a second, and then I went back to Blue Devils. But it was Blue Devils at first because I think that show was just so much better than like any other show I had ever even like okay, listen to that one, and I listened to other ones, and like yes, the other ones are great, but like there was like Cabaret Voltaire was like so just I don't know, so abstract and like
Yeah.
I just loved it so much. And then I don't know, something about that like really just like grabbed me. And I knew that it was different than like anything else I would ever
Right.
check out. And then I think watching like Greg make like Blue Devils and like him like I think his whole goal was to make Blue Devils, right? So like he was always like kind of like not always talking about it, but I knew that was like his thing, and
Yeah, I remember
since
he was
inspired me so much,
super stoked to make it. Like he was
yeah,
really stoked to make it.
yeah. I bet he was. I remember just like him coming back to the high school after making it, and I was like, dude, you're like a god, bro.
Yeah, I
Like,
know.
yeah, yeah.
That's awesome.
So yeah, that, and then like I guess the time where I was like, I think the more I started to learn about it, um, the more like I got drawn towards um the swag that they had. I know it sounds like a weird word to use, but there's something that's just so much different about watching a Blue Devils drumline versus watching like any other drumline. Because it was the first lot I had ever seen Blue Devils was 2015, and it was that RCC lot, and I'll never forget just like them. Oh, them like sorry, someone just like walked
It's
in.
okay.
Them just like playing like that first snare break and just being like I don't know, just like so I didn't even know what they were playing.
They were
I was
really
just
good that year.
like, holy crap,
Like beginning of the season too.
and
I remember seeing it, I was like,
yeah,
dude,
early season they were killing
God.
it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that was it. And just like watching them because I know that there was like another part where I just saw them like smiling as they were like drumming. It was so weird. Like they were just like they knew that they were like playing so well, you know? I was just like, what the heck? Like I just thought that was so I don't know, something I hadn't like seen before. Like you guys like know that you guys are killing it, but it's
Yeah.
not too serious. Like I don't know,
Yeah.
it's weird.
I think that's a good way to put it too. Like it's
Yeah.
not. It was weird. Like I always imagined. Well, plus I heard stories of like old school Blue Devils because I had people like Eric Melson, John Burroughs, people like that taught me that marched in like the '90s when it was like way more intense. And
Yeah.
I expected coming in, and it was just gonna be like, dude, get your shit, like, let's go,
Yeah.
But it.
Yeah.
So I was actually a little intimidated, like I was a little scared, but it was chill. Like it was, like you said, it was like not. They knew they were gonna be good. So I mean, there was like stressful moments, but it was.
I was gonna say like there are stressful moments
Yeah.
and I mean like I'm sure you've had your like walls and stuff
Yeah.
before.
Absolutely.
But I don't know, just like I don't know, something about I feel like that year was just like so locked in from the start.
Yeah.
Because I was fortunate like to see a drumline that had it locked in from the start, like they were just like so tight in that they clicked really early. So I think getting to witness like what maybe like closer to finals would have been like it just like hit me different,
Right.
So
That's cool.
yeah.
So what did you do to prepare for like each of the types of auditions you had? So like I mean you had, I don't know if you auditioned like during high school or for like concert band or anything, or if that's a big thing.
Yeah.
But especially, you know, like WGI and DCI.
Yeah. So I guess preparing, I was, I think preparing, it's like obviously like learn the packet. I think like everything that you think is obvious, like you should definitely do, right? Like, um, learn the packet, like know when the day is, like all this stuff, like know where you're going. Everything that you should already have in your conscious mind, like, yeah, I should probably do that. I should probably do that. I think it's like, the types of ways like I prepared were like different. Like I think I would like write down, like I would write down stuff like, I don't know, try just be confident, or I don't know, I would just like try like putting myself in like the audition headspace. I think like it comes with experience too,
Yeah.
because my first audition was just like super bad. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously like got cut. I got cut so many times, so it's like you have to put yourself, I think you'll know how to prepare better once you like put your foot in the door.
Yeah.
Um or yeah. So like I don't know. That's a tough question. I feel like every audition just like a step up, like
Yeah.
knowing, be more aware of like
Right.
what's gonna happen or what's. Mhm.
Yeah. No,
So I don't
that
know.
yeah, that totally makes sense. I
It's
think
an interesting.
um I mean there are obviously exceptions, but I think most people that try out the first time are probably going to get cut. You know, that's not a bad thing. It just means like
Yeah,
you're still learning. You gotta learn how to audition too. It's not as simple as like, hey, just come in and
yeah,
play
that's
this,
so.
dude. Especially Blue Devils and RCC,
Mm,
like they do a lot to put you through the rings. You know what I mean? They're through the ringer
yeah,
to see if you can actually hang
yeah,
mentally, not just
yeah. Those auditions, I will say, man, those auditions were like the most stressful auditions I've ever had before.
yeah.
I think, um, yeah, and Jacob Little said this, and I was like, hmm. And then like when I actually got, because he said like, yeah, I think Bluto's is like high pressure, but RCC is a harder audition in like some ways. And I was like, huh. But then like when I got there, I was like, wow, this is like so true. I feel like there's so much pressure on you like at Bluto's, and then like I feel like they throw a little bit less at you at Blue Devils, but it's like super high pressure, and then they throw so much at you at RCC, and it's like really difficult, you
Yeah,
know?
that's what I heard.
Um,
I never got to audition
yeah,
for RCC. It's too far for me. But yeah, that's definitely what I've heard.
yeah, it's crazy. So yeah, I think what you just said, learn how to audition. I
Hmm.
think it's more. It goes like further. It's like learn how to fail, like be okay with
Ooh,
that.
that's
Yeah,
that's really good.
yeah.
That's a
But I
really
mean,
good
like
point.
if you get cut, like I don't know. Like people like are always nervous. Like I'm gonna get cut. Like I'm so upset at myself because I auditioned for Pacific Crest in 2017,
Hmm.
and there was a Blue Devils thing that was happening, and I was like, I didn't even like learn the packet for Blue Devils. I didn't know the packet or anything like that at that time even, and I was just upset because I could have gone to the Blue Devils portion of it and like done the individual with Nick, and like I was nervous because I was just like, oh, I don't want to get cut. But like looking
Hmm.
back on it, I wish I would have like done that. Like I feel like I missed out on such an opportunity to grow. So like any opportunity you see that's like, hey, you might get cut here, like you should definitely like take that chance.
Wow,
You know?
that's a really good point.
But, mhm.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that. That's a really good point. I think that's, now that you mention it, like that's a really good thing to think about. Like a lot of people that they just miss the opportunity. Not even just to make it, but just to grow, like you said. Like
Yeah.
missing a chance to grow. That's really cool. Let me see. I have another question. Somebody asked a really good question. I'm gonna save that one for a little bit. I'll save that one for a minute.
Sure, sure. Special one.
So how about like when you finally made it, like getting your contracts? How was that?
That man, I'll never forget. Because I think in my head, I guess like I put RCC um not like higher than Blue Devils, but that was like the first thing I wanted to do. I guess the first thing I thought was possible. And that's the first line I made. RCC was the first like well obviously like the not the big line I made because I made Dark Side and I was able to make all these like really good groups. But RCC meant way more to me personally. So making RCC was like I don't know that I feel like that I don't know how it's described. I like almost started crying because it was like such a thing. I was like
Right.
so
You worked for it
like I was
forever.
getting yes, dude. I was and I felt like I was ready too. Like I felt like I had gone through the ringer once again, and I was like I know like I did pretty good, and like this is everything I want to do. And it's crazy how they do it. They like round everyone up and they read off the names and I was the last person to get called for the snare line. And I just like as soon as my name was called,
Ooh.
my head just like I know it was so nerve wracking because it was just
Ooh.
like name.
Yeah.
I'm like, what's
Damn it.
my name? Like
Damn it.
like
Damn it.
yeah,
Damn it. Damn
yeah, yeah,
it. Yeah.
yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
and then like when yeah, it's stressful, dude. Then like
Yeah.
when they call my name, it's like all I did was just like drop my head into my lap, and I was just like, I just knew that I was like,
Yeah.
okay, at least the hard work just got started because like the whole season, that was like I need to like you know get really good really fast. But I think that was like a small break for the weekend because I was like
Yeah.
finally
You
like
can relax
I
a little
thought
bit. Yeah.
yeah that was man, and then Blue Devils was like the same way. It was like so nerve wracking, and then um when they called my name, I was just like so grateful. I just felt like so grateful for like all the for everything that had happened for me to get to that point.
Yeah.
Uh, so I was just I feel like I was just overwhelmed with being grateful for my experiences and stuff like that.
That's really cool. What somebody already kind of asked this, um, but what or who influenced you the most in WGI, DCI and WGI? Like we're maybe you can it can be instructors too, but who had like the biggest impact on you?
Yeah. So I guess huge impact. I can't even like go this whole conversation without bringing him up. Like George Collins,
Hmm.
he um he really helped out drumming with him from summer 17. It was like him, Ricky and I always just meet him every week to drum, and his whole goal was to get us like in RCC. And man, he really I feel like he was um I don't know the first one of the first people that like started getting me from like where I was to like getting me to a place where I can make RCC and a place where I can make Blue Devils. So I him for sure, George Collins, Matthew Regwa, Nick Arcee. Dude, Nick Arcee is man,
Absolutely.
Nick, like
Yeah.
so he's ahead, man. He's ahead of the
Genius.
curve for
Yeah.
sure. Genius, yeah. And like such a great person, man. Like
He really is. Yeah.
I like it's so like not only is he just a great drummer, like an advanced drummer, but the way he like can communicate the mind, like hey, think about it like this
Yeah.
or whatnot, or just even just talking to him, like, hey Nick, I'm struggling with this. Like, there's been a handful of times where like I've had to like go to Nick and just like talk to him, and then he'll just share like, hey, like and just such a down to earth person. I would say like Nick is
Yeah. Same.
really appreciate Nick,
I don't.
and what's up?
I don't think I've ever seen him like get mad.
Oh
Like
no,
he's
no.
not somebody that reacts like if we're having a bad day, he doesn't react aggressive. There are
Mhm.
times, like Jared, not in a bad way, but like we would need that like a
Yeah,
little
yeah,
bit
yeah,
like a little bit of a slap in the face, like all right, we're
yeah,
being BS right now, like we need that. But I don't think
yeah,
Nick ever he could get the same result without doing that, and it was so weird because it was like wow,
yeah,
all right, Nick,
yeah.
thanks, dude.
super just like cool, so super cool and calm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, Nick was awesome, and Sean Clark. I feel like every instructor I've had like that level has been so impactful. Like Sean was like, I remember I was having a tough time last year, and like we all we had to do was just like talk, and he was just like, "Yo, like you're good," you know, like I don't know, just like something
Yeah.
about his humanity towards
Hmm.
like you know,
Right.
you're tripping about this. Just like
Yeah.
I don't know. There's something about like just being human and connecting versus like yo let's like get this thing down.
Yeah.
You know, like I feel like there comes a time where it's like when you're human and you can communicate like, hey, I understand. It's just like
Right.
it changes so much, you know.
Yeah.
And obviously Scott's
Yeah.
man, Scott's
Yeah.
Scott's a legend, dude. You already
He's
know.
still
And oh
going.
man, every instructor, dude. Every instructor is
Yeah.
awesome.
What is any advice that you might have for anybody that's going on to DCI, WGI that might be like on the fence about marching? You know, because there's people that, for one reason or another, that you know, a big one now is like financials, because it's way too
Yeah,
much. You know,
it's very
well,
expensive.
I wouldn't say too much because that infers that it's not worth it, but it's a lot. It's a lot to do, and there's a lot of
Yeah,
people that you know that are going to college and they already have to pay like even if they're in community college, like $800 minimum a semester. You know,
yeah.
um, plus in some cores like $5,000 6,000 a season, and they get to march 5 seasons. Like that's a lot.
It's a lot of money.
Yeah.
Um, well, I guess to start, I would say if you're on the fence about it and you want to like just dip your toes in it, I would say like one of the best things you could do is just try out a season at least, right? Um, I think if you don't, I think it's so much different from an outside perspective, not doing it at all, and then doing at least one season of it because what happens is, and I think this is like huge is not only are you like in an activity that's like pushing you as a person, now you're surrounded with like similar people in your age group, and I feel like more than anything, friends have really tied this whole thing strongly together. Um, so I would say try out a season and see what happens, and then if you like it, then you're gonna have to like start figuring out okay if I want to keep doing this if I want to sustain this, then you know there's gonna have to be like I mean financial stuff that goes into it, but if you're on the fence about it and you haven't done it at all, like try one season of it and see what happens because I think all it takes is one season, one experience. Like even if say like the season is bad, right, but you go and watch Blue Devils live or you go and watch another core live, that might be the trigger that like once
Yeah.
that makes you want to keep doing
That
it.
was a huge one.
So
Like
yeah.
doing mandarins in
Mhm.
2010. That was my first year actually on like a world class tour, and I had never.
Huh?
I mean, obviously, like I really wanted to do the Blue Devils, but I had never experienced other drum corps. So actually, at that time, like
Mm.
after seeing some live, I was like, dude, I had never considered this option for other drum corps. And there was actually a point where I was like, maybe, you know, if I don't do Blue Devils or B Corps or wherever I'm gonna go next, like maybe I'll try out for like Crown. Crown was like probably my favorite other corps. If I could march anywhere other than Blue Devils, it probably would have been Crown. And I had never seen him,
Nice.
even on videos, but seeing them live like opened up more options. So that's a really good point too.
Yeah.
Like seeing what other
Mhm.
options are out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess another thing with like financial is to man like communicate. That's a big one. That's one that I like. I still have to remind myself because I think what people worry about is like they don't want to communicate their struggle with having to pay it off, right? And they'll just bear the burden, you know, on themselves. I did a lot. I would just be like, no one would know, like no one had any clue, like
Yeah.
I'm struggling, and like you have to have the humility and just like to like extend your arm and like help me, you know.
Right.
And that can just be with communication. Like even if like someone isn't like you don't have to get a donation from anyone. It's just like you have to just at least um vocalize it. And that's the thing, like once you vocalize it, the world will like help you, I think that's a big one. And along with that is to express every option you have. So like you might feel like you're in a bubble, but like say you start communicating, then you're like, okay, well now this person knows, and that person's actually giving me an opportunity to do this thing. Connections start being made, and doors start being shown to you that you might not have seen before.
Hmm.
So no one will know your problem if you don't vocalize it. Like the squeaky wheel gets the grease, like that's true.
Hmm.
Like definitely let people know
Right.
what's going on. Like obviously don't let people know and then just like kick back. Like
Yeah.
let
Right.
people know, let them know that you're like you're working towards this thing.
Right. What has Blue Devils given you in the perspective of like real world experience
Yeah. I,
or
I guess
observations or anything?
yeah. I mean, I would say like a big one is I think it gave me the I think it gave me a lot more confidence in myself for sure,
Hmm.
and a lot more. It's crazy. Like once I was able to like do this thing, I noticed like if I put the same amount or greater effort into a different area that I did with having to make blues and RCC, like I can virtually do like anything I want. I think that's extremely powerful
Hmm.
because at one point, making Blue Rose RC was impossible, and like I can never do that.
Hmm.
And like making it now, it's like, well, how many other things do I think are impossible that I think like if I tried it wouldn't be anymore? So I think it broke that wall a little bit and just gave me the it just made me realize like wow, there's more. I'm selling myself short. I could do way more,
Hmm.
and I can do things that I really really want to do. So I think that's a big thing. I think anywhere you march probably will teach you that
Right.
you can make anything happen.
That's cool. That's a really good way to put that. Um, Julian asks, he's trying to get into audio engineering and music production with especially FL Studio, and he has some stuff on SoundCloud. I know you recently started up a YouTube channel. So what do you recommend I do to build up a fan base/community?
Ooh, yeah. So I think you should definitely promote yourself, for sure. I think you have to be really consistent. I think with this like all this technology and like social media stuff, if you don't make yourself relevant often, like very often, you won't be remembered or like it's gonna be harder for you to like be someone that like people want to like pay attention to, I guess. So I think it's a lot of consistency. Like just put yourself out there constantly and always work on making your craft as strong as it can be. Like if you're really serious about it, um, building a fan base is like awesome. I would say like that's great, build a fan base, but I don't think it should be the main priority yet because I think getting good at what you do should always come first. And also like knowing knowing that what you want to do is what you want to do. So making sure that you're not like questioning, is this what I want to do? Like if you're trying to build a fan base and do that at the same time, I think you're gonna run into like a lot more problems. So make sure that like if you know like yes, this is what I want to do 100%, get really good at that thing. So that way when you do put yourself out there, it's like it sticks more, because it's like you know
Right.
you show that there's work, growth, and it's a quality product. Um,
Right.
So I would say that I mean it's like that. Don't put that aside, but I would say like making it right first is the priority for sure.
I think obviously you're doing it well because your YouTube channel's it's doing super well. What do you have? You have like 4,000
Mhm.
subscribers, something like that. Like 80 videos. That's a lot.
Yeah, it's definitely Yeah, it's definitely slowed down just because, and that's like the whole thing I just talked about. Like knowing what you want to do. Like obviously, dude, I love drumming, right?
Mhm.
I drum just to like drum. I don't know, like
Yeah,
now that like everything's taking a pause, I'll just drum just because like I want to. It's very therapeutic
yeah,
and meditative. Um, and I think putting it like I think I was taking it too seriously by doing it on the YouTube platform, and I feel like I was just like not having as much fun with it,
mm.
and I didn't want to like ruin, or not ruin it, but I didn't want to like resent drumming because I didn't want to attach it to something I didn't want to do. Um,
That's a
so
really
that's why,
good way to put that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Um, so that's why I stopped doing the drumming stuff on YouTube, and like now I'm trying to figure out like what do I want to do on this platform
Hmm.
because I think I do like putting it out there. I love the YouTube platform. I love having videos on there, and now it's like the whole thing we just talked about. Like, what do I want to like? What in this platform do I want to achieve that is seems impossible? So like getting to like 1 million subscribers, that's like a whole thing. That's a goal right now. Like I
Yeah.
feel like around there, I would put it as like making Bluebills and RCC,
Right.
and like that's a challenge. And right now it's like I was so invested in like the numbers for a while, but then like when I realized like maybe I don't want to do the drumming stuff, um, I started realizing that like it's not about like the numbers I'm getting, it's about like what I want to do. Because once that's taken care of, it not that it won't matter, like you won't care who's watching, but it's like it feels way better to put out a video or put out something that you're like, oh man, this is so good,
You're genuine
and
about it.
it
Yeah.
tanks, yeah, and it tanks, then like, oh man, this is like I know this is good, but like this like I know it was like it was kind of a hassle to like do and like all this stuff and like like and then putting it out there and it does really good. It's like, well, yeah, but there's something about
Yeah.
putting something out that's authentic and genuine to you than putting something out there that other people will enjoy the bit, but maybe you don't enjoy as much,
Right. It just feels more authentic.
Yeah.
That's plus. I mean, I feel like people they can tell when you're naturally
That
more excited about some type of a content,
Yeah, yeah.
or if you're just
That's
kind of like
that's
forcing
so
it.
you're the second person that told me that.
Yeah.
Um, George Collins said the same thing. He said people can tell.
Yeah.
And if people can tell, like then why are you continuing to do it? It's
Yeah.
like that's obvious. And it's like
Yeah.
it should be obvious. It's like duh,
Yeah.
but yeah.
Do you have like anything planned, like that you want to
Right,
share?
okay, so right now I've been doing like a lot of vlogs, but I think I want to like I'm still trying to figure it out. Like I think I'm not sure what it is yet. Like because people have done vlogs before, like that has I don't want to say it's taking its um taking its course or anything like that, but I think in order to you know like I think about this like okay, Blue Devils, right? Every year, and I think I'm related to drumming a lot because it's the thing that I know very well. It's like you don't see Blue Devils constantly doing the same thing over and over again, right? They do something different every single year, and then you just know, like, man, there's something like so different about like, Blue Devils, right? Or whatever. And right now, it's like I'm almost like trying to like put myself like into a niche or something. And it's like I know like if Blue Devils had a handle on this, they wouldn't do this. They would try something different. It's like I want to be that
Gotcha.
different. I want to put myself in it in like I want to just separate myself. I think once I separate myself and grow in that area, it will bring me like so much. So I don't know. Right now I've been doing vlogs, but maybe I'll merge that with something else because I think
Right.
out of everything I've been experimenting, vlogging has been like the thing I actually do enjoy a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's
It's fun to
tweaking that a
watch.
little
It
bit.
is cool. Like
Yeah,
I like
yeah,
the dog episode. That one was fun. Those are
yeah,
cool.
yeah. He's chilling right here. He's so
I
cute.
see. Really.
He's just like a.
That's
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah, yeah. I'll show him
Let me see.
here for a second.
How old's your dog?
He is
That's so cute.
he's 4. He's 4 years old. We adopted him.
Yeah.
So
Nice, dude.
Yeah.
No, I've always liked like vlogs and things like that, because you, especially if you watch it like over time, you feel like you start to kind of get to know somebody, you know, like you're almost
Right.
I don't know a good way to describe it, but it's almost better than just like a standard YouTube video, you know, where somebody's like doing a tutorial on something. But it's cool because I get to see
Yeah.
that person's life and like see what they're doing. Like you did one where you're hanging out with like Elijah, right? I think you guys went to
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
LA
Yeah.
or
That was
something.
cool.
That's cool stuff.
Yeah. That was cool.
I think that's super cool stuff to see. He's coming out with like
Yeah.
really good music too. I've been watching lately.
Elijah's amazing too. There's so much talent
Yeah,
in the marching activity. It's awesome.
yeah.
So cool.
I like seeing it a lot. He asks, "What made you begin your YouTube channel in the first place?"
Yeah. So, um, my one of the guys I went to high school with, he played tenors and he was dude. That guy was like a hustler. Like he would always like sell candy and like he just like he had like very entrepreneurial like drive, and he started a YouTube channel, and he found like pretty big success on there. And then he like just told me, he's like, dude, if you did drumming stuff on there, um, it would do really good. And I was like, and I didn't want to do it. And like, I kept like going back and forth, like, do I want to put myself out there on YouTube? Because I feel like a big thing about putting yourself out on a platform is you have to have you have to like be okay with like putting yourself out there, you know? Like you
Mm.
have to be okay with like criticism, I
Yeah,
guess, or whatnot. You know what I'm saying?
right.
And I feel like that was a big one for me. And I feel like I wasn't ready to put myself out there because I feel like I wasn't good enough. You know, I wasn't like super good. Um, so I waited for a real long time, and then it just like over the whole summer of 19, I was like, okay, when I get back, I'm gonna do the YouTube thing. When I get back, I'm gonna do the YouTube thing. And then yeah, when I got back, I put myself out there, and it was definitely like scary for sure. It was something that like I just had to jump into,
Mm.
but I'm really grateful because jumping into it has like done nothing but like help me like again grow in another sort of way and just learn so much about um, other people and myself for sure, and like show me like that this is like another passion I have for sure. Like having like doing like editing stuff or recording stuff
Yeah.
has been another passion I found. So very grateful for that. So yeah, him, my friend from high school.
Mm. Like, what have you done? Have you done any like, I don't know, like exercises, or it's not really an exercise, but like to be more comfortable being vulnerable?
Yeah, yeah. I think maybe just not not attaching yourself to so many things. I think um, like what I mean by that is like don't attach yourself to like um, how do I say it? I've let go more and more of like this has to be great, this has to be amazing, this has to be like all this stuff because I feel
Mm-hmm.
like once if I'm so attached to it, then it's like I don't know, I don't explain it. The more and more I get away from judging myself, the more I'm okay with where I'm at because I'm no like right now like with you know like YouTube, I'm rookie, you know? I'm like at the lowest of lows like possible, you know? Like so right now I'm in the process of like having to just like learn and like holding myself up to like the same standard I have
Mm.
for Buddha almost doesn't make sense because I'm not that good at this craft yet, you know?
Gotcha. Yeah.
So just like not myself to like this has to be great right now because you're such a great drummer. It's like no, like that's those things two things don't aren't aligned yet,
Right.
you know? So that's a huge one for sure.
Again, I really appreciate it. Thanks so
Awesome.
much. I'll be in contact, and
So,
we'll try to do this again sometime.
yes.
Cool.
All right, see you, dude.
See you, buddy. Have fun with your move.
Bye.
See ya.
Thank you. Bye.
Please, if you guys can all do me a favor, besides liking and sharing my stuff, please go and share and like Sean's stuff. If everybody in here right now could like take a video from his profile and just share it on your profile, it takes like 1 minute. like just something, and it'll get a couple views for him. He really, really, really deserves it. And I would really appreciate that, like giving him the love that I know you guys can all give. You're all able to do it, so please do it. In the meantime, I might be on later today playing some games or something. Who knows? I'll be drumming more this week. I'll be drumming more. I found a way to get my stream to accept the input of my drum set over here. There we go. That guy. So I do want to... Oops. Great. I do want to do some drum set, either covers or like tutorials or little lick sessions or something like that. I do have a couple people I'm going to be writing some things with soon. So that's all good stuff to look forward to in here. And yeah, again, thank you guys. I really do appreciate any and all support you guys have been giving. This is a cool journey that I'm on. I really appreciate it so far. I really like what this is doing for me, just personally, especially during coronavirus and all that stuff. It's fun to do, and I genuinely like talking to everybody and reconnecting with some of my old friends like Henry, you know, and some people I don't know as well as I would like to, like Sean. Like I know him, you know, but I'm more appreciative now because I feel like I really got to know him in that talk. So yeah, that's all stuff that I really enjoy doing. And again, I can't say it enough. I appreciate you guys being here. So thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.